episode 13 of Pop Junkie TV. I'm Victoria and I want to be trash.
And I'm Mark and I'm a guitar hero.
So this week it's our Glastonbury special.
Yes.
Mark's here because little old Shawnee's off. He's been moving house and removal men have unalphabetised his CD collection, so he's now going to spend the next couple of weeks sorting that out.
Bless him.
So yeah, Glastonbury is the main sort of news of the day. Then Ashley's going to come on a bit later and whittle on about some bands he's getting excited about hearing at Latitude in a couple of weeks' time, which you're going to too, aren't you?
I think so, yes.
Cool.
So you went down to Glastonbury last weekend without your arc and appeared to take the good weather with you. Any good? Yeah,
not bad weekend. Nice and hot. Bands weren't really hitting the mark as much as normally.
Jay-Z?
Well, it's got to be the biggest hype of Glastonbury, hasn't it? We're going to do our Glastonbury Awards now, and definitely biggest hype of the weekend was Jay-Z. Me personally, I didn't go see him, as you know. I was going to boycott the main stage.
I watched it on the TV from home, as I did with the rest of Glastonbury. Quite enjoyed it. 99 Problems, girls, girls, girls. Everyone knows them. They don't know anything else, is my kind of feeling on that.
My opinion is, you know, the biggest sing-along of the show was Oasis Wonderwall. Next year, Michael Eavis, just get Oasis to headline. Surely much easier.
Or Kasabian.
Yeah, or Kasabian. So then the next on to, I didn't go see Jay-Z because I found the best codger at Glastonbury was Buddy Guy, who's I think, 72, 73. He a blues guitarist, sort of really influential on Jimi Hendrix and stuff. Yeah, he did Voodoo Child, did a few old Eric Clapton tunes. Just amazing, really, really good live, really good voice actually for someone of that age. Brilliant. And then
our biggest disappointment, unfortunately for Vix, was the Black Kids.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I really like them, but it sort of showed they've only got a couple of singles really. Sound weren't really that good.
I kind of like the whole look. The whole look's great and everyone gets into it, but they're just a bit...
I think there were far too many bands at Glastonbury this year who've only got one or two hits.
Yeah.
Playing stages way too big for them.
And the worst one for both of us, really, Amy.
Winehouse, yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a shame. Looked a bit out of sorts. Really strained on the singing. Maybe the record company should do something with her.
Well, that's what I think. Yeah, I think the record company shouldn't be letting her play. I said this last year. She pulled out. Well, she did Glastonbury last year. But on my blog, I'd said she shouldn't be playing. The record company should be intervening. Someone's that ill, shouldn't be performing on stage. I wouldn't go to work.
Just look really strained, and she's got to stop talking about all that other stuff when she's on stage, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think so.
Bit boring now. Bit old hat.
And then best new act was for me the Whip, who you know, electro indie crossover. God, you know how many bands are there like that at the moment, but they are really, really good. They're bordering on being a little bit cheesy. When you listen to the album, you're like cracking tunes, but next album they could go one way or the other. Amazing live. Really, really excited to be there, jumping around all over the place, loads and loads of energy. And then best return to form was Pete Doherty.
Pete Doherty, I can't believe you said that.
Yeah, on the Park stage, just him and his guitar, doing a little acoustic session. You didn't miss drums, didn't miss bass. In fact, you just didn't miss the rest of the band. It just shows how important he is. You know, he is the Libertines, he is the Baby Shambles. Great, had the crowd wrap around his little finger. Amazing, really, really good set. So all in all, you know, great weather. But a little bit of a disappointment this year. I think they really need to up the ante on the bands next year. So,
well, Serge has already put his oar in there and said that Kasabian would love to do it.
Yeah, they needed a bit of that. Great. They needed a bit of that. The year before last, Kasabian played before Arctic Monkeys, and they flipping nailed it. Yeah. You know, they real crowd pleasers.
And they bring the house down, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they need that. I'd like to see next year maybe Led Zeppelin one night and Cypress Hill the next.
I'm thinking NNRD. I'd love to see Pharrell and the boys have a go at that because that'd be much better than Jay-Z.
Yeah, I can see
that. Maybe the Prodigy.
Yeah, the Prodigy. Yeah, I said that. Yeah, no, I'd really like to see that. You need a band that everybody has got an emotional pull to. That everybody is like the soundtrack to their teenage years or when they're at college or something.
Because everybody's going to go and see the Prodigy, aren't they? They're going to get
just for laugh. Yeah, that's what I think they need to do. They need to get some bands with a bit of longevity next year, not these one album wonders.
Mr. Eavis, give NNRD a go. Yeah, that's what I say.
I've got Ashley here this week. He's our indie granddad to talk about Latitude.
Yeah, cheers, thanks. Yeah. Well, no, I'll talk about Latitude, but let's talk about some other things this week. I mean, Sean's not here because he's for a sick bag. Hello, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, popping the Jezebels. Should I pop in the Jezebels?
You played it to me earlier. It was all right. It's your normal
stuff. Just getting so excited about them. They're so great. But they're about 17, right? Okay. They're only allowed to tour in the summer because they're probably doing their A-levels or something. Probably in detention. But they look great. They sound fantastic. We've got a new single out called UFO, which is coming out a couple of weeks now, and it's just brilliant. It reminds me of Strawberry Switchblade, which do you remember Strawberry Switchblade since yesterday? It's that kind of like tinkly, vaguely psychedelic feel, and that's genius. So pop in the Jezebels. Definitely keep an eye out for them this summer.
Yeah.
I'll be doing my research for Glastonbury for Latitude, which is 2.5 weeks to go. Howling Bells, looking forward to them. Have you ever heard them?
No, I have heard them, but I really like the name as well. I think that's a wicked name for a band.
Well, they're, you know, Australian, French, you know, multinational really. They sound a bit like Mazzy Star. Do you know Mazzy Star? American kind of dreamy kind of David Roback guitar.
It's all very
rock,
your
you
type
know.
of music, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, all right, okay, but you know, great tunes, really, really good, fantastic president, amazing lead singer. I mean, they're playing everywhere. To be honest with you, whatever festival you go, you're going to get the Howling Bells this summer. So. Been listening to a lot of Glasvegas at the moment. Is it Glasvegas? Glasvegas?
I say Glasvegas.
Do you reckon? Glasvegas. That's because you're posh, you know.
Yeah, right.
She's come from Reading, isn't it? Berkshire. Royal Berkshire.
Yeah, so Glasvegas, I quite like them. I miss them at Glastonbury, sadly. I quite like the new single. You're not such a fan, are you?
Well, Geraldine, right, okay, now Glasvegas for me were like my big, like, they're going to be the big thing this year. You know, I'm really looking forward to, you know, next single, next album. Love Daddy's Gone For is amazing. Kind of like not quite as excited about them as I was now. I heard the new single, you know, and I just kind of think it's the same tune.
I think it's what we were talking about earlier. Actually, is how at the moment there's an awful lot of synth pop, electro indie crossover, and a lot of these bands are singles bands, and there's no one to come out with a really definitive sound and a really cracking album. I think that's part of the problem, isn't it?
Well, we're waiting for the new Franz Ferdinand, wasn't it? Franz Ferdinand was like, you know, complete change, and unfortunately Franz Ferdinand, I think it's now like the tail end of, you know, Britpop. You got all those no rock bands, we won't name them because Sean likes most of them, but you know, they were pretty bloody awful, weren't they? But you know, it's like that now and things are getting a bit boring, but Glasvegas, wait till the album comes out. Lastly though, like I heard a single the other day called All the Times I Cried, and I was sitting there thinking, oh, this is quite good, reminds me of Lucky Soul, reminds me of Duffy, reminds me of Candy Pain and that kind of stuff. Thinking, yeah, quite like this, Sean love it as well, and guess who it is?
Charlene.
That's right, that's good. We played it earlier, Sharleen Spiteri. Basically, Sharleen Spiteri, is she a bandwagon jumper? What do you reckon? It's very
I've heard this, I definitely think so, yeah. I think I'm getting bored of synth pop and I'm bored of white soul wannabes.
Yeah. But then again, you see, I'm thinking, right, okay, I've heard 2 tracks from the album, both really, really good, well written, good songs, good production, blah, blah, blah. She sounds great. But, you know, is anyone beyond Texas's fan base going to buy it? And there are a load of weirdos who do buy Texas records for some reason.
Yeah, there are, but I won't be one of them. And I can't imagine anyone that wasn't into Texas in the first place ain't going to buy it, I don't reckon.
Okay, so jury's out on them then.
Yeah, well, jury's out. So this week, we've mostly enjoying Glastonbury and getting a bit fed up with the current music scene. But next week, we're reviewing Black Kid's album.
You better like it after what you said about them earlier.
Yeah, Sean's coming back. And these guys are all buggering off to Latitude. So enjoy your week. I'll see you on a Pop Junkie.